Hello and welcome to GeForce. I'm Julian here with Scylla from BioWare, and we're going to talk about Anthem. It's a special day for us. We get to actually play it, but maybe those watching aren't familiar with it. So just give me an overview. What is Anthem?
Anthem is an online co-op social action looter shooter. You're going to be able to be a pilot, which is a freelancer. That's how we call it in the game. And you're going to be piloting 4 different javelin suits. They're going to give you like those superpowers to traverse the road, explore all the verticality that we have in the road, which is a beautiful road, but also very dangerous with very dangerous creatures.
BioWare is legendary for the stories you create, the characters you create. Can we expect more of that in Anthem?
That's what we're trying to do. We want to create characters that you can interact with, that you can get that emotional connection with them, at the same time that they're also talking about the story of Anthem, like why the gods were there and they stopped in the middle of the creation of that world, and what happened, why did they go away, why did they leave the tools behind the Shaper ruins, and how do you activate them, how do you turn them off? So that's the mystery that is behind the lore of Anthem. And on top of that, there is a clear antagonist in the game of Anthem, which is the Monitor. He's from the Dominion faction, he's coming from the north, he's invading and destroying everything. He just wants to conquer everything. And then you as a freelancer, you have to stop them from doing that.
BioWare is really always been single-player focused, and you guys still tell a compelling single-player story in Anthem, but you've merged that with multiplayer. How do you reconcile those two things?
We have a philosophy that we call our road, your story. So we want for players that when they are playing together, it is a co-op game, it's online social game. You can play by yourself if you want, but we make it super easy for you to play with your friends and friends of your friends, so you can join expeditions with other people like very easily, and that's the part that we call our road. Your story is that every time that you finish an expedition, you go back to Fort Tarsis. And in Fort Tarsis is kind of a single-player part of the game. So your story is going to advance at your own pace. You can speak with many characters if you want. You can have like different choices with different characters. But if you just want to go straight into the new mission, you can just like start a new expedition and then you have other people playing with you again.
You worked on Mass Effect 2, you worked on Mass Effect 3. What's it like now to get the opportunity to create an entirely new world?
It's actually super exciting to be able to create a new IP for BioWare because there is no right or wrong answer. And you cannot necessarily go and look at the reviews and look at the feedback from the public because the game didn't come out yet. You have to create all these rules that give you the opportunity to create a world that not only tells the story of Anthem now, but the story that we're going to tell later.
If you're playing in these multiplayer worlds, obviously players are going to want to make their javelin suits their own. How do you guys go about doing that?
We have 4 different javelins in Anthem. You're going to have the Interceptor, which is kind of like the very mobile and agile javelin, kind of like a ninja. We have the Storm, which is, in terms of analogy, it would be more like a mage that sits a little bit more in the background, has a lot of elemental attacks like electricity or fire. He can freeze enemies and he can even put like a wind wall in front of the enemies. You also have the Colossus, which is more like a tank. He's big, bulky. He can attack enemies with his shield as well. Has a flamethrower. I love flamethrower, by the way. And you have the Ranger, which is a javelin suit that is good all around. Like he can attack enemies from afar and also from close combat.
Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in here on GeForce. Don't forget, if you pick up an RTX card, you can get Anthem bundled with it. So everybody wins. Stay tuned here for more GeForce, and I'll see you next time.